G'day everybody, welcome to another week in the markets, and we have a bit of an interesting week this week. Let me first start by saying this. I'm going to tell you a few things in this video today, so watch it to the end, about the state of Bitcoin right now, what I'm looking for, and why we may see all-time highs this week if one thing happens. First things first, last week in the US, really positive non-farm payrolls, I think it's the first Thursday of every month. I used to hang out for that bit of news to get out of the way when I was trading foreign exchange full time. But the numbers came out good. Unemployment rate, unemployment's good. It's a good thing, which really opens a door for the potential opening of cutting rates in the US, which of course, that's liquidity into the market. Then they can flow into risk on assets like crypto, like Bitcoin. So that's really, really good. There was a bit of a question mark this week around the 90-day pause on tariffs that Trump had said was happening. Apparently, it's been postponed until the 1st of August now. So that's also good news for July. It just opens it up to not have these major thing in the air, a major news announcement in the air, a major possible riff of markets out of the way. It's pretty much put off until August, which again is good. And he is speaking, when I say he, Donald Trump is speaking positively that there might be some deals done before then, so it can all sort of settle down a little bit. Now, of course, we know that, he could open his mouth and change his mind at any minute. And that's why the markets have been quite volatile. But what we've got now is a bit of a clear week ahead of us and a bit of a clear month, fingers crossed, for Bitcoin to do what Bitcoin does when it gets strong and move higher. So what am I looking at? Well, to start off with, Bitcoin's sideways. It's not really, but it is in the bigger picture sideways. We're between sort of 110,700 and 100,000, let's call it, right? And what I do like is we've got a higher low here as we pushed on towards this resistance level. I'd love to see a third test up here, and I'll come to that at the very end of the video for a possible trade long on Bitcoin if I am to see it set up throughout this week. So last week with Bitcoin, what did it do? Well, it was up a little bit, 0.78%, nothing to be sneezed at, because we did move lower and then we rebounded back up. As I showed you here on the daily, we did see some selling off before the buying came in a big way on Wednesday. So last week didn't do a great deal, but what it did do was it did break the high of the week before. Now, that is a bullish candle in the cradle zone. This is the area for which I trade from. Now, whether it be on the daily or the weekly or the monthly or a 4-hour or a 2-hour, this is a strategy with a checklist that I use to find opportunities in the market. And I'm going to point another one out to you, not just Bitcoin, later on in this video. But it broke the high of that candle. And if we are to see a trend continue, what we want to see is we want to see it continue to move higher, this being the pivot of the higher low within the trend, and taking out these highs and basically just having a bit of blue sky ahead to have a decent run. So I'm hopeful that last week was a bit of a slow week. They might pick up some momentum this week. That would be my hope. And I'll show you how I'm planning for that. Just a second to that is that the weekly on Bitcoin is the question mark time frame right now for me. It's got to get to all-time highs. Getting to all-time highs means that we'll have a higher low here and a higher high. Currently, we've gone low to high, and we're pulling back. I want this to be the higher low. For that to be confirmed, we have to take out the high here, which of course is, let's just call it 112,000 to make the math or make the number nice and simple. We take out that level. We've got a strong weekly to line up, as I've been saying, week in and week out, to line up beautifully with our strong monthly trend, which is just beautiful. Back into the cradle zone, higher low. There's my pivot, move higher, back in. There's the higher low, pivot. I want to see that occur on a smaller scale on the weekly here, moving higher. So Bitcoin, not much last week. A start to the week that is still within the consolidation, but it is in the higher end of this range, which is a good thing. Good thing to start the week. Now, on to Bitcoin dominance, because this is obviously a chart that I keep a very close eye on. Very slow week last week, very sideways. As you'll see here on the weekly, only down 0.09%. So pretty much flat on Bitcoin's dominance here. The total market cap as well did move higher, only slightly by 0.88%. Same methodology here, same structure of the chart as Bitcoin, a higher low. I hope this to be the pivot. It's got a little bit further to move above 3.5 trillion for us to get this total market cap into an uptrend, which would hopefully then start to mean not just Bitcoin ripping higher, but the alts following suit. That's really what I want to see. The chart that would represent that the most, because this is the total market cap, currently at 3.32 trillion. The market cap minus Bitcoin is this one right here, And as you can see, I'll just flick it between the two. Total market cap looking a lot stronger than total market cap minus Bitcoin, okay? So we want to see this chart. It's a long way from setting a new higher low, because look, we've got a higher low potentially here. Sorry, a long way from setting a higher high. It's still got, how much has it got? It's still got, let's call it 11% before it would have put itself into an uptrend on the weekly. Really hoping to see that, because that means it'll have a lot of opportunity, a lot of great strong trends to be trading across the alt market. That's where I make my most money, when everything's trending really, really well. So leaning back now, so we've got Bitcoin dominance flat. Bitcoin last week, relatively flat, but building up into a level of resistance, and the total market cap also relatively slow. With the NFP, well, the employment figures being strong, with the potential now of a rate reduction in the US. We have one more than likely going to occur again here in Australia soon. It means liquidity coming in. The big beautiful bill having passed through the Senate, I think, goes to its next stage. If that occurs, that will be another liquidity dump, which again is positive. So things, the groundswell, still building in a positive light. Now, as far as the trade goes for Bitcoin, here's what I'm looking for. I've got a test one, test two, not quite a third test here. If I can get a third test up into here, i.e. it touches that level, nearly bang on the money there, then I could look at a potential stop loss down in this region, and I could look for a swing trade breakout long on Bitcoin that I would be hoping to ride for weeks and months to come, given the momentum. If the momentum can break there and it shifts to strong, I might get a very, very long running trade there, which is what I'm hopeful for. So that would be my stance. If I can get a third test up here on Bitcoin to get long Bitcoin futures contracts, which is, that's what I do. I trade futures. I use margin. It's good stuff, but you've got to understand how to use it. You've got to know, you basically go through the tutorials that I've put there that are available to you. You learn it all there. But long story short, that's what I'm looking for there on Bitcoin. This week, I've been keeping the last couple of weeks, actually, I've been keeping a very close eye on this, LQTY. Why? Well, higher low here, higher high, pulling back. I was looking for daily cradle trades in here. I have not got one, but if I look at the 2-day, it's starting to look pretty good. There's 16 hours to go, so 10 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, this candle will close. If it can close more bullish than this, I will have a nice uptrend there, cradle right smack bang in that zone that I want in a nice established uptrend. Now, to go with that, we look at the 4-day, and there's a clear higher low, another higher low here, and another higher high here, i.e. meaning that my 2-day and my 4-day are in agreement, and I may just get long on this particular chart right here. Now, that's one that I wanted to point out that is really close to setting up. Another 16 hours to go that maybe you might want to consider with your trading. For anything else, guys, please do make sure you give me a follow on X at Trader Cobb. I'm Craig Cobb on Facebook. And more important than anything, as I will be doing my free newsletter tomorrow, going into more detail yet again, pointing out all the big news items that came out in crypto for the last 7 days, go to the Grow Me Co. That is thegrowmeco.com. And all you have to do is join up to the free newsletter that is available there. Anyway, starting a new week fresh. I hope you are too. And let's hope that we see Bitcoin push above that resistance level to really get this market exciting once again. And I hope you're ready to trade and make an absolute killing. Have a great day, guys. Join the free newsletter, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.